Hey YouTube family, I am back with another video. So today what I'm going to get into is a question I get asked all the time. How do I get into IT? Help me get into IT. So what I plan to do here today is do exactly that. Tell you guys how I got into IT. Give you guys a little bit of background about me. So I've been in IT now for almost 20 years. Crazy to believe that, but it's been almost 20 years. So I started off in the help desk, and then from the help desk, I went to desktop, system admin kind of work, and now I'm in cybersecurity. So when I was first trying to get in IT, one of the first things I did was I found a mentor. A mentor is very important because they can give you some guidance, they can give you some tips and tricks on how to actually get in IT and maybe get an idea of what direction that is you want to do. So check with your local school, check with your local friends, check at your job, talk to some of the IT people there, and see if you can use those as resources. Number two, when I got into IT, what I decided to do was I knew to get in entry level, I was going to have to start the help desk. So what I started doing was finding out what are the requirements to actually get into the help desk. So back to that mentor again, the first thing they advised me was to go and research CompTIA. So when you're going out here and you're researching on the different jobs, see what CompTIA certifications may be asked or required of you for those, and then actually do your research on YouTube or online, a Google search, and find out how can you actually get those certifications. So definitely when you start researching, look at those job titles, look at those job descriptions, see what skills they're actually looking for, and look at multiple. Pull up like at least 5 of them and look at the job requirements, descriptions, see what certifications they're looking for, see what experience they're looking for, start researching that, and then figure out how can you get those requirements and those certifications. The next thing I'm going to recommend here, number 4, I'm going to recommend that you get your hands on some equipment. So in most companies, they do use Windows computers. But what I'm going to recommend is you also get your hands on some Macs, because all depending on the company you're working for and the environment, you may be in an environment where you're using Windows and Mac devices. So it's always good to get your hands on that equipment. So what I would actually recommend is check with your local IT school, their university. Occasionally they offer some of their old equipment for sale. You can get it for cheap. That's a good option. Another thing you can do is check your Facebook marketplace. See if you can find some cheap old equipment there. I suggest like Dell's, HP, Lenovo's. Those are pretty easy equipment to work on. You can also check on eBay and see if you can get some devices like for a couple $100, 200, maybe $300. That's a great way to get some hands-on experience. So when you're talking, depending on the position that you're doing, you know what it is, you've touched it, you feel it, you know how it is. So I wanted to take the time to actually show you guys what I meant when I said like local colleges or universities that you can find some of their old items for sale cheap. So what I did here is I went into Facebook, I typed in the local university near me, which happens to be Ohio State. And as you can see here, they have iPad Pros and other items here that are for sale. And you can see they're listed for like $200. It's not bad. The key is, again, getting the equipment, getting your hands on it. So when you're maybe going for an interview or just in general, you're talking on the phone with a customer, you actually have seen the equipment, you touch it. As you can see earlier, they said like all their iPads sold out. So I'm not sure if sometimes people come in here and they just purchase the whole bulk load and then just list them for sale, maybe on Facebook Marketplace or maybe on eBay, or just sell them locally, or, you know, maybe they get them as gifts for people. But I wanted to show you guys in real time here, for me, just doing a search, the things that I could find on here. And you can see this is just a all-in-one right there. And you can see they have like TVs, and you have a couple different items here. So you just have to check back, I would say probably every 3 months or so, and just see what they may have listed here, just so you can get an idea of some of the things you can have. And I think usually they show this stuff in advance and tell you when it will be for sale. So that way you're not having to maybe check all the time. And they probably have like a list as well that you can get on and see that. And so hopefully you guys found this to be pretty helpful in real time, just going out here and just searching. Me showing you guys ways to find some equipment for cheap. And as you can see right here, Ohio surplus. The next thing I'm going to recommend here is actually getting those certifications. So finding out who the vendor is, and then going to that website and then figuring out what do you have to do to get those actual certifications so you can be certified. Now, if you're just getting into IT, I recommend the CompTIA website. I will show you a little bit about that website here later and show you what it looks like when you go into that. Now, most of their certifications run about $300 some. If you're new to IT, I recommend the CompTIA A+. That's going to give you the fundamentals. So you're going to learn hardware and you're going to learn software, which is the beginning part for anything that you do in IT. After you finish the A+ certification, the next certification I recommend is you go for the CompTIA Network Plus certifications. That's going to teach you everything that you need to know about networking. You cannot be in IT and not know about networking, know about the ports. It's the fundamentals for anything, whether you're at help desk, desktop, security, you need to know networking. And after you finish the Networking Plus certification, I highly recommend you go ahead and get the CompTIA Security Plus certification. You will thank me later, because no matter what part of IT you're in, we all need to be concerned about security, how to secure that information. And then if you decide to pivot over into cybersecurity like me, you'll already have that. So I wanted to take the time here to actually pull up the CompTIA website so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. And when you go to the website, what you will actually see. So this here is CompTIA official website. If you don't know, CompTIA is like the #1 site vendor out here to get certifications, especially for entry level stuff. And they're kind of respected and recognized a lot. So if you're actually going out there and you're looking at job titles, as I mentioned earlier, you'll see something like Network Plus mentioned. You'll see A+, you might see Security Plus mentioned. So this is that website here. So what this is showing here, you right here, is actually the CompTIA A+, what the versions are, what you need to do to actually take them. And so when you actually do click on them, it will tell you what it covers, what information you need to know. And it usually lets you go in here and you can schedule it, tells you if you're looking at one of the certifications, when that one expires. So here, it's actually just still going through and showing you the Network Plus. That's the main one I would get. I would just study for the A+, but I don't recommend necessarily spending that $300 to actually take that exam. I don't think you need it these days. I think you need Network Plus and Security Plus more than anything. But it's good to know the A+ stuff for foundational purposes. And as you can see here, CompTIA has several certifications mentioned here, and it's up to you on what you want to know. But as someone that's just becoming into IT and entry level, they call it the trifectas, the A+, the Network Plus, the Security Plus. But again, just remember the Network Plus is what I recommend as far as spending our money on certifications. If budget is tight, that's the one I would consider. And then Security Plus is the other one. But as you can see right there, that's just the information for the Network Plus. It tells you everything that you need here. It tells you how much it would actually be for the certification. And then kind of what it covers. And then it should also list the different versions. And you can see you can get tools here to assist you of actually taking that exam if you do want to purchase that. I think in a future video I'll actually discuss ways that I think you can also save some money by actually using other resources to learn about this at, a little bit of a cheaper price. But again, CompTIA, they give the information. Is the information they're giving you right there is stuff that should be on that exam. So if you just want to do that, then I'm completely fine with that, and I completely understand. So what I'm looking here for, and it looks like down at the bottom here, will be the Security Plus exam. That's probably one of the more industry recognized ones. When I worked for the military as a contractor, I had to have the trifecta, so I got the security a while ago. I highly recommend it for anybody that definitely wants to get in security. It gives you the foundations for everything you need to know for security. It's industry recognized, and if you look at most job postings, you will see Security Plus usually listed there as one of the things that they require you have before you come into it. And this is just giving you some information, and you can see what's on CompTIA's website to use as resources if that is something that you choose to use. There are other ways out here you can get resources, study for these exams, but I thought I would show that to you. Another way to actually get into IT that isn't always talked about is when you're first getting in IT, one of the first things you have to do is take the jobs that are entry level, or maybe the jobs that nobody else wants to do. So what you might want to look for is those entry level jobs that are second shift, third shift, weekends, because the main thing is you just have to get your foot in the door. The key with IT and many jobs is getting yourself into the door. Once you get yourself into the door, you can branch off and go anywhere you want from there, but you got to get yourself into the door first, make your connections, people get to know you, and you go from there. So make sure this is something you're looking at. Those jobs that people may not want to do with the odd hours, the weird hours, and then weekend hours, and then you'll use that as a way to get yourself in the door. The next thing I'm going to recommend to you is not technical at all. It's all about social skills and being personal. So the next thing you want to do is, once you've got your certifications, once you have a mentor, once you've researched these job postings, what you want to look for is a network. So if you're not already networking, make sure that you include networking in your list of things to do to get in IT. What I've found in IT is a lot of IT is who you know, not necessarily what you know. You just need somebody to vouch for you so you can actually get your foot in the door. It's something, me personally, that I wish that I would have done more of in the beginning. So make sure you check online, Google, check LinkedIn, search for local networking groups in your area. Join those groups, get to know the people there, attend events, attend a lot of their social gatherings, let them know who you are, pass out your resume. These are people that you may not get a job from them now, but you may run across them in the future, and they will think about you. They already know you, already got a connection. And when something comes up, they'll think of you. So as long as you've completed all these steps, I hope the information that I've given to you today has been helpful. If you have any more questions or comments, again, on how I got in IT, or me to go more in details on some of these things, leave it below in the comments. And as always, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.